Yesterday I had the opportunity to have a video telephone call with Bishop Batelli, who is the Bishop of Kiev, Ukraine. And he is still there in Kiev. And the discussion we had was one of sharing faith, but also one of sharing in the moment of struggle that is going on right now, and as the war rages. If we think there is not evil in the world, we have a really upfront and in-person example of that going on now. One of the things, though, that struck me, and I had met him about 5 years ago in Rome when we were visiting the Holy Father together, is his smile. And all throughout the conversation, the smile came and went, all the way through, depending on what we were talking about. And one of the things he asked for is for us to pray for the conversion of Russia. And he recalled the statement that Our Lady, Mary, the Mother of God, made in Fatima, that the conversion of Russia would take place if we prayed. So part of the invitation today is for us to pray that under the intercession of Mary, the Mother of God, Russia will be truly converted, and that there will be a just peace in Ukraine. For each of us, though, this time is a moment for us to reflect. First, on that there is truly evil in the world. And second, that we are called as individuals and as peoples to stand up for that which is good. Stand up for that which is of God, if you will. And each of the readings today invite every single one of us into that kind of personal relationship with God. The conversion that needs to take place in our own lives is also significant. It's not just the Russian nation that needs to be converted. It is also our hearts and our minds and our spirits that need to be converted. That's the reason why we have this time as a time of, as we heard in the Gospel of St. Matthew, a time of penance, sacrifice, a time of prayer, and a time of almsgiving. All of those moments in our lives are really meant to create space, new space, for God to enter our lives, especially in the areas of our lives that are weakness. You know, I've noted for you already the weakness of the world in the war that's taking place in Ukraine right now. That's a huge one. It is a grave sin. Having said that, we also need to take care of our own house and our own house of faith. My assistant for communications, Juliana, before some of you were walking in, was quizzing you on what are you giving up for Lent as you walked in. And many of you had not come up with what you're going to do. So, giving up something in Lent is meant to be a penance that we do in order, again, to create space in our lives. Some of you will choose to give up some of the stuff you like, chocolate, Cokes, stuff like that, that's fine. But I'd also recommend to you that maybe considering the space needed is your time on social media. To cut that down to fast an hour a day from social media. A couple of you just passed out. I don't know, it's okay. But that's also one of the things that really says to us, we do believe in God. There is a God. And we do believe that God is in our lives. And we do believe in God's love in our lives. And we want God's love in our lives to grow. That's what the penance is about. That's actually why we give up meat on Fridays. It's really meant as a time for us to open more space in our lives. Now, for us who live on the coast, giving up meat on Friday is not a major sacrifice. It really isn't. But it's symbolic in our own lives to say, yes, we are making a change because we want the change to take place in our lives that runs deep in our mind, our spirits, and all that we are. And so doing a penance, fasting, all of that is really an invitation to us to grow in our relationship with God, and especially Jesus Christ, who died on the cross. Because the war in Ukraine is a sign of the cross. Man-made, yes, but it's a sign of the cross. It's why Jesus died on the cross, to say to us, there's nothing we can suffer in this life that he does not already know, and that he has suffered. And when I was talking to Bishop Vitelli, we were also discussing not only the cross, but the resurrection. Because in the end, that's what the prayer, the special prayers we do, that's what the special penances we do, that's what the almsgiving we do is meant to call us to. Is to share Jesus' life, Jesus' passion, his suffering, his death, but especially his resurrection. And we both share together that with the war going on, in faith, we know Jesus has already won the victory. That's faith. By the way, Bishop Vitelli had the option to leave Ukraine, not Ukraine itself, but the city where he is in Kiev, which is almost surrounded now, and to go to another city. But he and his priest discussed it and made the decision that they would stay with the people. So they all went to confession together and took up their posts in Kiev. That's faith. That's really taking on the Lenten moment now. And it's an example to each of us to say to God, I now open myself up to you in love. Pour your love into my heart. And through this penance, through this sacrifice, through this almsgiving, and especially through this prayer, open myself to you, that your love and your goodness may truly reign in my heart and in my life. Let's pray for that grace